What are you
Hey,
doing?
what's up? I'm your host, Officer Chad Ditch. Thank you for coming back here to Coffee Break. I'm here with my co-host.
Officer Trevor Macy.
Hey, bro, that beard coming in good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Got the little style with the mustache is just a hair thicker, or is that?
Yeah, it's the beard stash.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that look. But today is the last time you'll see it on the podcast for all because I got to shave it this week.
What, did you lose a bet?
No, I am going to a murder mystery Christmas party.
And no beards are allowed
on Friday, and my character doesn't have facial hair.
Oh.
So I gotta commit to the role.
So is this a business, or is this like a bunch of friends that
Just
are putting this together?
Friends putting it together. So
That's pretty neat.
it's like a once a year thing now. So.
Oh, how long y'all been doing that?
This is our second year.
Okay, second annual. murder
Second
mystery.
annual. Well, so did you know you're not supposed to call an event annual the first time?
Correct.
So it's only annual the second time it happens.
So
this would be annual. Last year would be inaugural.
I
suppose.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So the third is the second annual. Well, you wouldn't say that though.
I think this is the second annual. Because you can't have a first annual.
Correct.
There's no such thing.
That's like your birthday. You know how we celebrate, like, if it was your 40th birthday,
Yeah.
you're actually celebrating the end of your 40th year, not the beginning.
Yeah. I was confused by that when I
Mhm.
saw Lieutenant Purcell's post on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because he said that. And I was like, wait. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's
Yeah.
true. So
we are recording on a Wednesday, man. It's been a long week already.
we
bro.
didn't wear pink.
Yeah, I wore purple today. I wore pink yesterday. So,
Man,
but
we're slacking.
how was your weekend?
It was good. Went to shop with a cop Saturday.
Yes.
Up at the Walmart at 29th and Rock.
Yes.
That was awesome. We got some pictures on our Facebook page of that. Chief Sullivan was there. DC Pinkson was there.
Mhm.
Captain East was out there. A bunch of patrol officers from North and East Community Policing. We had the Juvenile Intervention Unit there. A bunch of kids got some gifts, got some presents. So it was a great event. Really cool.
Yeah, bro. I went to the one the weekend before. They're really rewarding and humbling at the same time, you know?
Yeah, those kids are super excited.
Mhm.
And for them to be able to, like, it's one thing to, like, get a donated gift or something for Christmas, but for them to actually be able to go and, like, pick out what they want. And
with the police.
Yeah, with the police officers. So it was cool that people were like, what's going on at the Walmart? So we're just shop with the cops. So yeah, it was really cool. It was nice, and they wrapped them up all nice and got them some cool stuff. So
Dude, this is like the best time to be a police officer too, is during the holidays and stuff. Because I mean, last weekend, the weekend before that, we did shop with the cop. The 10th, we did shop with the cop, and then we got another event coming up this weekend.
Yeah, the holiday feast. Coming up. Sergeant Kimball puts that on every year. That's always super cool to see. My bad.
The life of being on call right there.
I forgot to put my phone on silent.
Don't edit that out. That's just the life of the PIO, man, especially when you're on call.
Always busy. But yeah, the holiday feast is coming up on Sunday. Sergeant Kimball puts that on. They pick some families out that are in need and take them for a nice barbecue lunch. Give the kids some presents. They get to meet Santa Claus, and then they get to take some food home for the family. So
that's so cool, man.
That's always super cool to see that and be a part of that.
Yeah,
so.
That's that part when you go through the academy or when you're thinking about being a cop, like you don't realize how impactful that is for you. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
Not to bring that mood down, but you know, you got Facebook memories and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So last year around this time, I got a Facebook memory just the other day. So last year around this time, I was working with Patrol ECP, and we were able to provide one family. We filled up their entire refrigerator with groceries and stuff. Blessed the kids with a bunch of bicycles that we were able to get, and then we went and got another family Christmas presents and the whole nine, the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So that was throughout the day, and then at the end of the day, we're getting ready to turn in. And a call comes out that affects a 16-year-old kid, and he loses his life. So it's like the life of a cop, right? You can start out with so much joy and everything, and then you're sitting there for 2 or 3 hours consoling parents and stuff like that. So it's just crazy. I mean,
it's always
ups and downs. 1 hour can be this, the next hour can be that. But.
Absolutely. It's kind of an emotional roller coaster, but it's those good times that make it all worthwhile, and those are the ones that you try to keep close to your mind and your heart. But did you have a good weekend?
I did, man. It was busy, man. So I worked again at Walmart. That's what I do usually. I'm on for part time, and then I'm touching the mic again, so that one person's gonna call me out. But yeah, Sunday was just cleaning up the house and stuff, trying to put things back where they need to go, or put things up where they go and stuff.
Right.
So, but yeah, bro. Yesterday did the first ever barbershop talk with police.
That's right. How was that?
So it was cool, man. It was cool. We were able to talk with the shop owner, his wife, and then one other person who's works with some grassroots organizations and things of that sort, some nonprofits.
Yeah.
And great conversation, man. Like, I love the barbershop atmosphere and stuff,
Right.
and just to be able to have some authentic conversations and everything, whether it's one person or whether it's 30 people, you know, like,
that's huge.
yeah, man. And at the same time, it's therapeutic, you know?
Right.
So you get stuff off your chest, you get to hear people get stuff off theirs, and then you find that common ground. So.
Do you know when the next one's going to be?
Not exactly yet, but we want to do once a month.
Okay.
So we did one, mid-month, so we'll probably do another one same
And that's
time,
open to anybody, right?
Open to anybody, man.
So if you
Definitely
guys
want to
wanna
have some of
go.
the younger cats come out and we can talk to them, hear what we could do better. But yeah, man, it
awesome.
was really cool.
Stay tuned to Facebook and
Yes.
Twitter for information on
Yes.
when the next one's going to be.
Yep. And then push it out to the media too, man. Let them
Yeah.
jump on it as well.
You
so
had some media show up
yeah.
last night, right?
Yep. Yeah, KSN came out there, so
Shout out KSN.
yes.
Thanks for
yes.
coming.
It was a great time, man. It's all about just communicating.
Yeah.
Getting information out there like that.
Speaking of communicating, do we have a special guest today? Not a WPD guest,
No.
but a very integral part
Yes.
of our operation day to day, and what we do.
We
Elora
couldn't do our
Forshee.
job without these people.
Yeah, Elora Forshee with Sedgwick County 911
Yes.
is here. She's here now, so let's
get her on.
Let's get her on. We'll get a refill. We'll be right back.
All right, and we are back with Elora Forshee. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I am well. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being here. We know you're super busy, so we ask the same question every time on the podcast.
Okay.
Okay, and don't be offended.
Okay.
Okay,
Or
But
we won't be offended.
yeah, we won't be offended.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That
I guess I
like
should have said
better.
that.
Yeah.
I like that better.
She's not going to be offended,
Yeah,
but
she's
like
not gonna be offended.
we may be offended.
I'm not so
Yeah.
worried about me being or you guys being offended. I
Right.
just don't want to be
Yeah,
offended.
exactly.
Yes,
Yes,
we will not
okay.
be offended.
Good.
Have you seen the podcast?
I have not. I
See?
did not know you had one.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
now I'm dialed in.
Yeah, so
Yes,
you got about
sorry.
8 months to catch up on.
Okay.
So
Okay.
It's a lot of material there.
I just need a good road trip and I'll be there.
that's
There you
it.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we
Okay.
go.
And it's cool
Okay.
because this is on YouTube, so you can watch it as well. So
Okay. All right.
There are people who listen,
yes, there are.
which props to them.
Yeah,
for
because they like our
listening.
voices.
I don't like my voice,
Yeah.
so I would not listen to me. But
Isn't that always how it is?
Yeah.
When you, I mean, I guess now we don't have recordings or like voicemail systems so much, but you would hear like your phone on a voicemail or answer
Yes.
machine. You'd be like, oh my gosh, that's
I
weird.
hate.
Right.
Do I actually sound like that?
Yeah.
Well, that's why, like in the late '90s, early 2000s, people went to playing the music video, and then they turned it down, and then they were like, "Thanks for joining the
Oh,
chat ditch."
yes.
Like, yeah,
You're
That's
dating yourself.
yeah, I
here.
am, yeah. So we started the podcast because we wanted the community to see people as a normal person, right? Not just officer and so. But you come to us from 911 dispatch and stuff, so
Right.
a big role in what we do every single day. I mean, we can't go anywhere without y'all telling us where to go and stuff, right?
We
Yeah.
like
So,
it like that.
right. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about who you are and how long you've been where you're at. And
Sure. So I am the director of emergency communications, 911, as it's more commonly known. I have been there. I just celebrated my 18th anniversary last
All
month.
right.
And so I was joking with my team that now I get to hire people who go, you've been here longer than I've been alive.
Right,
So I'm really looking forward to that.
Right.
I have been the director for 7 years, but I started out as a dispatcher. We were in the basement of the courthouse at the time. It was like a little, we called it the dungeon. There were no windows. There was
Right.
like 12 positions down there,
Wow.
very close together. It was a very intimate space.
Yeah.
Right.
And so now we are over at the public safety building, of course, which now has beautiful windows. We've got 24 positions over there, 26, excuse me. So seeing that progression through 18 years of emergency services, and then I worked as a supervisor and then the deputy director and now director. And so seen a lot, done a lot, and just really love 911 services.
Right. So 2003, 2004, basically, right?
Yes.
So technology's grown a lot since then as well.
Wow.
So
has
what?
it? Yes.
Yeah, so that's what was it like when you first started? I know being in the dungeon and everything, but how were we getting things out at that time?
Right. So the radio system, like how we're getting things out to officers, hasn't changed a whole lot. You know, the radios are a little bit nicer now. I think, you know, everything's digital, all that good stuff. But the biggest change has been on the telephony side or on the phone system, how calls have come into us. So when I started, cell phones were a thing, right? People had cell phones, but you didn't get a narrowed down location, that XY coordinate of where people were when they called. So you got the tower that they were hitting, maybe what side of the tower. So if you didn't know where you were, and we didn't know where you were, it was kind of a bad deal. So now, of course, the majority of our calls are from cell phones. We now get this really beautifully plotted coordinate on the map on most cell phones. There's a few old ones, which when we don't get those, I always think, what kind of phone do you have?
It's probably an iPhone. Probably an iPhone user.
No, it's not. No, that's where we get the good stuff.
Typical Android.
Anyway, and so that's where we've seen the biggest technology changes is really on that phone side. And so then, of course, add in text to 911, which we have in our community. A lot of people don't realize we have that. And so it's really just as easy as texting 911 and then whatever your message is. I will say we tell people call when you can, text when you can't, because sometimes people text in things where it's like, hey, let me call you this. The flow of information verbally is so much more rapid. And so, but if you can't because there's somebody there that you don't want to hear you or something like that, texting is available. And now we're looking ahead at videoing 911 and
911 FaceTime.
Somewhat, and so we are, the state of Kansas is putting in kind of the pipeline and infrastructure for that technology coming through. And so in this next year, we'll start to look at what that can look like for our community.
Interesting.
That's awesome. And so really, it's just a lot has changed over 18 years, both in the technology, the types of calls we take, just our community has changed so much in 18 years. It's been kind of miraculous as I look back at it that, you know, I don't know, just the way that it's all grown and how we've done with it. You know, the police department's grown, everybody's grown, and really I think it's just a heart of service that's carried us through all those changes.
And in regards to all those changes, I feel like the responsibilities of the dispatchers have probably changed a lot too, right? Because I know we've visited dispatch, and it's crazy how busy they are, and they're wearing like 2-3 different headsets. And can you explain two. Like
we
all
only
the
have two
2 headsets? So how many different roles, I guess, do dispatchers have nowadays?
Well, so we have call takers and dispatchers, and so every dispatcher is a call taker. Not every call taker is a dispatcher. So we hire in people as call takers. They go through the academy, they learn that skill set, and then we add on that dispatching once they are a little bit more comfortable with that first skill set. And so that's when you have 2 headsets on. You know, one ear you've got your radio traffic, one ear you've got your phone call, and it's really competing interests. And this was a model that worked really well for us for years, and in smaller communities it works well. We know we have outgrown that model. So now what our plan is we are doing a renovation to our comm center, our 911 center next year. We will be adding in more desks, so we will have about 45 positions then. And so then we're going to start adding on staffing to get to where we can have call takers that are just call takers, dispatchers that are just dispatchers, and give that undivided attention to both of those. Because, so back to your question about what all we're doing, so within those roles, there's a lot of flow of information that's happening. So on a phone call, I may be doing chest compressions or giving instructions on chest compressions, giving instructions on how to deliver a baby, maybe talking to somebody who's trapped in a house, you know, something like that. Thankfully, not every call is like that, but those do happen pretty frequently. And then I've got on the radio side, I can have everything from a firefighter out on a call asking us to call Westar to pull a electric box on an active house fire, or we've got a stroke alert from a medic unit to call into the hospital. We've got an officer that's in pursuit of somebody, you know, all those things that are happening all at the same time.
Talking about managing chaos.
Yes. And so this is where it becomes really tricky to balance that out in our position. And we're wanting to really pull back from some of that. That way we can become more proactive on the dispatching side, try to get ahead of some things that, for example, if I know that officers are going out to make contact with somebody, where can I find history on that to better paint the picture of who this person is, so that we know who we're encountering, and it helps with everybody to stay safe and to make it home safe, you know, the citizen and the officer. So that's where we're wanting to create more responsibility for the dispatcher, but we cannot do that without getting rid of some of the tasks that they have and separating that out.
And that's pretty cool too, because a lot of officers, once they get the experience, they'll try to do that, especially on certain calls when they're heading there, is doing that. So to be able to, give them the time to focus on driving there. That's awesome. I didn't know you guys were doing that. That's pretty cool.
It's a path that we're on that's not moving as fast as I'd like it to be moving, but part of that is just getting the staffing. And so once we have the space next year to expand that out, we have to be able to fill those positions, and staffing has been tricky over the last year. And so but that's getting better. We've had a pay increase, which puts us more commensurate to the work that we're doing. And so we're thankful for our commission and coming through with that, and hoping we see some great increase there.
So, can you break down like what happens? And you kind of did that a little bit, but if I call 911 and let's just say I have an emergency in my house, whether that's medical or some kind of criminal thing going on, where's that call go to? 911. What goes from there, and then what are the next steps?
So when anybody in the room has the opportunity to pick up a call, right? So it doesn't, if you're calling and say that you live down south and you're needing the Wichita Police Department South Bureau to respond, it's not that dispatcher specifically who's taking your call. And so as we pick up a call, we figure out what is going on, get a little bit of an idea of what resources are needed. For example, if it's a heart attack, we know we need to send EMS and fire out. If it's a robbery call, we know we need to just send law enforcement. Right. So we get that general information, the address, and from there we put the call in and ready for dispatch. So I may still be talking as the call taker to the person on the phone, collecting that information. I'm sending it through to the dispatcher. They may have already dispatched somebody. They're relaying that information over, and that call is just flowing like that, where you may not hear all of that on the phone. And that's where sometimes it creates some frustration, because when you're sitting there in that panic, and medical calls, especially like if your child's not breathing, and I'm just asking you all these questions, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to set the stage for paramedics to get there and just rock and roll out of the truck. I mean, they need to come out ready to go, ready to respond. And so while I'm doing that, you're like, well, oh my gosh, nobody's coming yet.
Right.
What are you asking me all these questions for?
Right.
And so really we try to impress upon people, this is not a delay. This is, help is coming.
Trust me, in the 7 seconds I've asked these questions, 12 people are coming still.
Right. So we have, when we do tours and give presentations, I have some audio that I play that overlays, and it's an armed robbery call. And so it's the call taker overlaid with the dispatcher, and how quickly that flow of information can go.
Awesome.
And it's a great demonstration of how it's not slowing anything down, but we've got to keep getting that information while they're on their way.
That's really cool. Are you guys open for the public to come do tours?
We are, So thankfully we're back in business with that. And so we like to have people come in. This is your 911 system. As a taxpayer, you pay for this. This is, I always say the same thing. It's my 911 system. So the success of it, if I call, if my house is on fire, I don't have any backdoor line. Like, this is the only way. So, but we like people to come in and see, because I think most people don't understand what's happening there and how complex the job is, that it's a career right along with being a police officer or a firefighter or medic. And so absolutely any groups, anybody that wants to come in, and we do observations also. And so you can come in and plug in and observe, but we do tours and
like a ride along. Your observation's kind of like a ride along. That's awesome.
That's awesome. And you guys are hiring right now?
We are,
For anybody watching?
Yes.
Wanting a job?
If you go to the Sedgwick County website, there's information there on how to apply, or you can email workfor911@sedgwick.gov, and that's all one word, work for, FOR 911@sedgwick.gov. SEDGWICK. A lot of people don't know how to spell it.
Right? Oh my God.
I always forget the D. I used to forget it all the time.
Yeah.
It's a I have to consciously remember to put it right before the G
and then
every
a lot
time.
Of people put that T in Wichita.
Oh man.
Right.
All the time, but anyway, so we are hiring right now for an academy class that starts January 4th, I believe, right after the first of the year.
Okay.
Again, we're hiring in at, I believe, $18.46 is our new starting rate.
Oh, there you go.
And then it bumps up. That's as a call taker, like I said, and then when you train up to a dispatcher, it goes up into $20-ish. I don't remember the rate.
Nice.
And we still have the $1,500 hiring bonus right now. And
there you go.
This is, I started here. People always say, like, we ask people, why do you want to come work at 911? And they'll say, oh, I really care for my community and
Yeah.
like these great things. And now that I've been here, you stay 18 years because you really care for
Yes.
your
Right.
community.
Yeah.
I started because I was nosy. And I was like, I need the tea on what's going on around
Right.
here.
Yeah.
And so I had a friend whose wife worked there, and she says, you ought to go work for 911. You ask a lot of questions.
Right.
And so that's why I started. So there's a lot of reasons to come work for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
But I think people, when they get in there, they realize it's a really great way to serve your community.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody tries to shoot at me. Nobody tries to,
Right.
nobody vomits in the backseat of my car.
That's,
Right.
Like, it's
that's
great.
huge. Yeah, that's
right?
huge.
And so I'm
Not only that, but vomits in the backseat of your car, then you got to clean it up.
yeah,
Well, yeah, that's the
right.
worst
And,
part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not out in the cold. You know, I always think when it's really cold out and accidents happen,
Yeah.
that's a bummer to be that officer out in the hot.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to be involved and not be in the thick
Yeah.
of it
Yeah.
in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But you still get to know a lot of the officers and
Yeah.
firefighters and paramedics, I'm sure. And like
Yeah.
I know, I had certain dispatchers that I knew were going to be working, and I knew I could
Mhm.
count on them,
Yeah.
and I
Yes.
think vice versa. So
It's a great camaraderie. I think there's something in public safety where it's a different culture and it's a different it's just a different camaraderie.
Yeah.
There's a
Mhm.
bond over seeing the worst. And
Right.
the
Yeah.
worst. Yeah.
What-
Absolutely.
I
you
think
never
too-
make
Go
a
ahead.
dispatcher mad because they're
Yeah,
the
you
ones
never
who
wanna- yeah,
decide.
never.
They're the ones who decide how your
Yeah.
shift goes.
Yeah,
So
'cause you might get to that one call and you're good, but they're ready for you on the
Yeah.
next
Well-
one. So.
yeah.
I'm not going to say that ever. happened.
Right. One thing too that I always would tell people when they started at 911 or they were thinking about it is some of the concerns was like how those bad calls right
Mm-hmm.
that you have to deal with is to know also that you are that voice at the other end that's
Mm-hmm.
the light at the end of that tunnel to provide them some clarity or some comfort.
Right.
So if you're great at communicating and talking with people or hearing and listening, I think that's
Mm-hmm.
one huge thing that was beneficial to be a dispatcher or a call taker. But
Right.
Yeah.
We talk about, we tell little kids about 911. I started at 3-4 years old telling my daughter about 911 and what to do when something happens. And so there's this concept of 911 out there just really ingrained, and it's part of the fiber of a community of how it kind of keeps everything pulled together. And so to be the embodiment of that, to know that when people are at their worst, they are going to call you and just trust that you're
Yeah.
going to take
Yeah.
care of it and send them what they need. It's a really cool position. It's
Yeah.
a lot of pressure sometimes.
Mhm.
right, yeah,
But, when I was talking to a young girl the other day that was in a house, she thought somebody was breaking in. She was house sitting, and she says, I'm just so scared. And I was like, I'm with you. Like, we're together. Till an
Yeah.
officer gets in there with you. And she's like, thank you so much. Like, please
Yeah.
don't hang up with me. I'm not going to hang up with you. And so that trust she was putting in there with me, even though I wasn't physically there with her,
Yeah.
we were together
Yeah.
until that was
Right.
going to happen. And thankfully, it was a great resolution to the call. But it's just a very powerful role to be that voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's huge.
So we have a lot of recruits that also watch that are getting ready to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I always, I guess, took advantage of or wanted to remember is you send me to the call and then you're on to the next one. I'm on scene, you're on to the next one
Yeah.
most of the time. So those crazy calls or those sad ones where it's an infant, something's going on with that, I would always come back when I was done with the call and be like, hey, just so you know, everything worked out. Or this is, and I
Yes.
thought that was, it was always been, they always said it was
Love officers
right.
like you. Yes,
So
yes.
I remember that, y'all, when you go out there
Yeah.
that, one, the don't make the dispatcher mad, but,
Yeah.
that's a lot of stress during that time and everything.
Sure.
To be able to have the closure, I think is very important for
Right.
mental health and stuff. So,
It's what's tricky about dispatch is we don't have any kinetic release of energy on a call. So if I take a call that's involving, maybe I've got a child caller reporting mom and dad fighting in there. It's really hard when you deal with those child callers because you want to reach through the phone and just
Right.
come
Right.
here. And so you've got this, and you don't have that ability really to get out, to move around, to interact with them, to make sure physically that child is safe, to do all those things. And
Yeah.
so you don't really have that release of that energy that you build up on that call. And so sometimes just sitting there, not even knowing how it ends. I mean, it's not, we care about these people. I mean,
Right.
these are our fellow community
Yeah.
members. And so having somebody that says like, hey, kiddo's okay, we got this taken care of,
yep.
it means a lot to us.
Yeah.
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 That's good advice.
So, since you've never watched the show, we
Yes.
we play a game called One Has to Go.
Okay.
So we take 4 things, and you got to
Oh.
get rid of one of them forever. Are you a movie buff?
I'm not a no. I don't watch a lot of TV or movies.
Well,
no.
maybe
Sorry.
hopefully this still works. So
Okay.
these 4 movies have to deal with being on the phone or dispatch. Okay.
Okay.
So
okay.
you got the movie The Guilty with Jake Gyllenhaal. It just came out, I think, this year or early last year.
Okay.
Phone Booth is an early 2000s movie. It's literally on the phone the whole time.
Uh-huh.
The newest one is Black Phone. Pretty creepy, but it's all about us being on the phone the whole time.
Creepy.
It's very creepy.
Super creepy.
And then you got The Call, which is the 911 dispatcher. Well,
Right.
The Guilty was too. So have you seen any of these?
I have not.
What?
I've heard a lot about The Call, but I have not seen it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm so boring. I'm so sorry.
you're okay. Well, Phone Booth is interesting because the guy, he kind of learns a bit about himself, and the guy on the other end of the phone is making him make some life decisions and stuff. But,
Okay.
the Black Phone is, how would you describe that besides creepy?
This serial kidnapper is
Yeah.
stealing kids and hiding them in a basement.
Yes.
And all they have in there is a black phone that randomly rings. And
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's
don't like
creepy.
anything
Yeah,
about
it's
that.
creepy.
And then The Guilty is a dispatcher. He's kind of he's at a
He's like a
facility.
detective who
Yeah.
gets demoted.
Yeah.
And then he ends up.
They sent him to
Imagine that
911.
being a demotion.
Well, because
so
that's
weird.
so his
That's a
department,
promotion.
they answer the 911 calls. Because I know
Uh-huh.
some departments have their own
Right,
call
they do.
takers.
Most of them do. Uh-huh.
So he gets for whatever reason, he gets moved to taking 911 calls, and
Gotcha.
he gets a call from a, what is it? It's a kidnapping victim
Yes.
calls him,
Okay.
and so he's trying to work through that whole thing.
And then
Interesting.
there's some drama that goes in between, and it's a pretty good movie.
Right.
So
And then I know the premise of The Call. I've
Okay.
heard that
Yeah.
one. Yes. Yes.
so you haven't seen them, but I guess based on what we told you, which one would you get rid of? That you
I'm
would-
going to get rid of the Black Phone.
What?
Creepy.
You don't like
movie.
horror movies or scary movies?
No, I really don't.
Oh man,
It was good, but it was really creepy.
it was
It's-
very
I
creepy.
have this theory in life where, like, I don't really like any shows that make me too worried about life.
Right?
I
Yeah.
like to keep it pretty easy breezy. When you deal with enough drama
Right.
vicariously at work,
Mhm.
like at home, I say my home life is boring, but really I think we were saying it's uneventful is
Yeah.
the better term for
You
it.
want
Well, that makes
sunshines and
sense.
rainbows
Yes,
at
like,
home.
I
'Cause you're-
can't,
yeah.
to watch a movie about kids getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
No, not.
That makes
Right.
sense.
all
That
my
makes
cup of
sense.
tea, so I'm going to get rid of.
That's valid. That's valid.
And I won't be watching it at all.
I think I'm gonna get rid of The Guilty.
Really? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have seen
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it, and I think it was one of those movies where they stretch it out a little too far.
Mm.
I like The Call. I'm a big Halle Berry fan, and I like how the plot and everything worked. Sometimes movies are like 2 hours long, and you're like, it could have been 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So
But really, just Halle Berry in herself, I think, makes any movie.
I mean,
could
that-
watch her for 2 hours.
Yes.
I don't know. That
Yeah,
Catwoman movie was pretty bad, though.
I didn't see
That
it.
was
didn't
not.
watch it yet.
That was not good.
Really? So it's
Not
going to
good.
challenge my theory that
Yeah.
Halle Berry can never bomb out. In
I mean,
anything,
she's
like-
good, but if
Yeah.
you have a bad writer and a bad director,
Yeah, only so
anybody
much a good
can
actress
anybody
carry.
can bomb. Yeah.
Random question: are you a Star Wars fan?
I am not.
Yes.
You've never seen Star Wars, or you're not a
I
fan?
have seen
Okay.
one of them, I think.
She's
years
at
ago.
least seen.
I
One of
told you
them,
I seen
Chad.
it for 30 minutes, and then I was like,
You didn't
"Bleh."
even finish it.
Oh.
Whatever.
don't-
Chad's never seen
I
Star
don't
Wars. He
dislike
refuses.
It. I just don't.
It was just boring to me. It was like taking 50 grams of melatonin and it just put me to sleep.
I think that's like a super unpopular opinion, though. I think
Yeah.
that's one
It's
of
a
the-
very
Yeah.
unpopular.
He gets me every time.
opinion.
You know, my unpopular opinion is that I don't care for the Beatles.
Interesting.
And so, yeah,
I'm with you.
That's one in a group sometimes that can like get you ousted.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't-
they're
I mean,
not
I-
like
I
my
mean, I
favorite,
never-
but they have some good songs.
There's just something about them that I just don't even.
I couldn't even tell you. John Lennon, that's one of them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not even
See?
my generation.
John, Paul, George, and Ringo.
Yeah.
That's not our generation's band, but people, even like my 12-year-old nieces, love the Beatles. And
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
Really?
They got a lot of hits.
Yeah.
Like a lot. I'm getting rid of Black Phone, by the way. That's
Really?
the only one on there that I've seen.
Appreciate that.
So I just want to be able to watch the other ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Phone Booth was good. Phone Booth was really good. That was back when, like I said, I told you earlier.
yeah, I remember when it
Kiefer
came
Sutherland.
out, and I was younger, and I was like, I don't want to watch a movie about a guy in a phone booth.
Yeah.
I didn't know how they could make that.
It's got to be a strong
exciting.
plot to carry.
It does,
it
yeah.
if it's, I mean, just in a
It's
phone
all
I
in
think
the
that was
phone
one of the
booth, like, whole
first
time.
movies that it was based in the same spot the entire movie and stuff. So
What about Rear Window?
I've never heard of Rear Window.
I've
It's
heard of
old
it. never
Alfred
seen
Hitch-
it.
Really?
Alfred Hitchcock. It's
Oh.
all set in this guy's apartment. He never leaves his apartment.
No joke.
So he's like watching other people out his windows, and the whole drama happens with all the people he's watching, and it's like what he's thinking about it. It's a good movie.
Interesting,
Yeah,
huh?
it's a classic.
That's awesome. Well,
Classic.
we appreciate your time. We know you're super busy, and I'm looking forward to all the changes that are coming next year and stuff. So, and then if you're watching, listening, remember they're hiring. 911 is hiring.
Yes.
So jump on there.
We are too.
Yeah,
we are too.
and we are too. You can
But
go to 911 from 18 to 21, and then come to us from 21 on.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, we could negotiate that. Yeah.
There we
Yeah,
go.
there we go.
So, but we're gonna get a refill, and we'll be right back. And that was the Laura Forshee, Director of Central County Communications, or as everybody else knows him as, 911.
911. What is your emergency?
Bro, so I'm not that much older than you, but did you ever watch
You're a little bit older
911
than
when
me.
you were a kid?
The TV show?
Yeah.
No.
Like Rescue 911?
No.
Bro.
I didn't watch a lot of TV shows
Yeah.
that weren't animated.
And that
Explains
answers a lot of questions.
right?
Yes, explains a lot. But dude, at my house, like my dad, it was Rescue 911, Cops.
We watched
and,
Cops.
What was the
America's
other one?
Most Wanted.
America's Most Wanted. Well,
Yeah.
America's Most Wanted, and then Unsolved
World's
Mysteries.
Scariest Police Chases.
No,
was the
Unsolved
other
Mysteries. Bro,
Unsolved
Unsolved Mysteries had
Mysteries.
every kid scared. Every kid scared that even if they lived in like California, that killer that they've been looking for 10 years in Maine
One. Yeah.
is right outside your
Yeah.
front window. Like, yeah.
Yeah, they're very good about dramatizing
Yes.
things.
But
which
yeah.
is what you got to do sometimes. But
Yeah. But yeah, bro. Like even when we went through to 911 in the academy, like there's different parts of it, right? There's
Mhm.
fire, EMS, police,
Right.
call takers, and then you have all 4 bureaus for police and stuff like that. So just seeing what they do with those 3 or 4 screens or 5 screens, having 2 headsets on, like
it's amazing how much one dispatcher can accomplish too. Like, because you have a dispatcher running your bureau,
Yeah.
directing everybody, and they've got multiple officers going to multiple calls,
Yeah.
and they're still like fielding information from the officers,
Yeah.
looking stuff up, getting it out to the officers,
and they're doing all that with a positive attitude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, just like normal people, just like officers and stuff, you get 1 or 2 that can get disgruntled, but at the same time, it's like when you're dealing with all that,
Yeah. You just gotta
totally understand.
Sometimes you gotta throw the manners out the window. Just be like, it's this.
Yeah.
Go do this. So
Bro, have you ever got to know the dispatchers and stuff because you know they usually work with you and stuff during your time, and then you get the rookie officer that comes in and he thinks that he's gonna say something smart back, and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, you done messed
Nope,
up. That's
nope,
so and so. You
nope,
don't
nope.
talk to so and so like that.
Yeah, you gotta get to know your dispatchers.
Yeah.
And they're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed working patrol and
Yeah.
working with the dispatchers I got to work with.
Bro,
so.
there's the ones too out there. Like you get in that car chase, and then there's a foot bail or something like that. And then it's like you don't even have to say anything because you get the dispatcher that's like, okay, we need to set up here at Hydraulic and Wausau. We need to be at
Yep.
Washington upon E.
Yep.
We need to be here. And that's neat. But then
Yeah.
you get some that they come in from being a call taker to transition into being a police dispatcher, and it's like they haven't had that experience to
Right.
catch that on, and you're like, man, where's so-and-so at? I really need them to set this perimeter up quickly. Like, but it's cool though.
There's
to also
so
see those
much
people
to
grow.
learn in that
Man.
position,
Yeah.
and it's good that they start them out,
Mhm.
with something and then elevate them because there's so many different. You tour that facility and you see how many screens they have.
Oh, yeah.
And like they've got like foot pedals for their
Bro, right,
microphones
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
I was like, what? They're like using all their hands and arms and
Yeah,
feet and both sides of their brain at the same time. It's
ridiculous.
insane.
Yeah, bro, ridiculous. So,
props to them. If anybody wants to be a dispatcher,
yes,
great career. You get to work hand in hand with all of your first responders.
Yeah.
So it's a great line of work.
When you talk about learning how to deal with stress and managing it and everything like that and communicating, like that kind of work really truly helps you out, not just with your job but in life. Like,
Yeah.
being able to solve problems and stuff like that.
Right.
It's tremendous. So,
Yep.
yeah, man, it was great to get her on, and
Yeah, I'm glad she
great
did
to,
that. On short
interview.
notice too.
Right? Yeah, most definitely. So
So what? 911. They're always available. When
always
you need 'em.
available when you need it. Right? Yeah. Bro, I
Always
emailed
available.
her and I'm like, hey, can you come in at 1? And she was like, can we make it noon? Yeah, let's make it noon. Cool, I'll be
Absolutely.
there.
Let's do it.
I was a little shocked that she didn't see those movies. Like she knew about the call. never
Yeah,
seen it.
yeah. Well,
So-
I don't.
Are you good with this water bottle,
keep
my guy?
dropping
Like,
stuff. I don't know what's wrong with me, Chad. Oh man, I'm having a day.
right? It's just that on-call status.
But yeah, I don't watch. I don't watch every cop movie that comes out
Yeah.
either. So that makes sense. Like if you do it all day, you find it because like you probably critique cop movies when you watch them now, right? Like
I used to when I first came on.
Yeah.
But now it's just an entertainment
You just
value
watch
to
it for
me.
entertainment.
Yeah. Now there are some portions where I'm like, hey, we don't do that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody doing that.
Some of them just make us look bad too.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you're not doing us any favors, Hollywood.
Right.
Michael Bay.
Right.
Too many explosions.
But yeah, we appreciate Laura coming on and everything. So, what else we got coming up? Anything else?
We already talked about the holiday feast.
Yeah.
There's something else going on.
Well, Christmas is going to be here.
Christmas is
Hanukkah,
next week end.
Yes.
So a week from Sunday.
A week from this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then Hanukkah is Monday.
Hanukkah starts Monday.
Yeah.
It is
so my wife's birthday
is
coming up. Well, her party
is Saturday her actual birthday?
No, Monday's her actual birthday. So shout out, babe. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Lorraine.
So, but yeah, man. It's an exciting time. So
that is cool.
Yeah, man. Have you ever been in a relationship with anybody that's had a birthday close to Christmas?
My sister's, we're not in a relationship.
Yeah,
but
glad you clarified that.
But her birthday is on the 30th.
Oh, okay.
So I always felt bad growing up because like we get all these presents for Christmas, and then my parents wouldn't have any more money for birthday. They would always have to save like a couple Christmas presents for her birthday.
And when did
try to have a party, but like a lot of people are out of town. Like it's hard to get people together.
Yeah.
Because it's the day before New Year's Eve too. So it's like
there's New Year's Eve.
Yeah, everybody's always busy.
Yeah.
So it's just like it was always. I always felt like she got the short end of the stick when it came to birthday parties growing up.
See, my wife, we've been together 17 years, and I learned very quickly that I don't give her any birthday present in Christmas wrapping paper. I don't give her a birthday present on Christmas and say, this is your birthday present.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because she had that a lot growing up, so I never wanted to.
Got to be a distinct day.
Matter of fact, the very first birthday that I celebrated with her, there was 0 birthday wrapping paper around Christmas time. So I had to wrap her present inside out and write happy birthday all over it. So
that's awesome.
Things that we do for the people that we love. So
I've got a buddy he's a fireman here, and his birthday is December 25th.
Ooh,
which I always thought was like interesting. Like how do you how do you do that?
Yeah. Is he married?
Yeah.
What do they do?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to ask him next time. I only ever see him when he comes here to fix the elevators. So.
Right. Maybe one day you'll be.
I saw him. I was going down the stairs one day. He's coming up in his fireman gear. I'm like, what happened? He's like, oh, the elevators are broken. So.
See, I want to know, like, maybe he's like, okay, guys, from 6 a.m. until 12, we're going to give that to what Christmas is celebrated for and stuff. But from 12 on, that's me. That's my day.
My time.
Barbecue, football, whatever.
Yeah.
It's my day.
Do they have football on Christmas?
Yeah.
Who plays on Christmas?
I don't know this year, but I'm pretty sure that now you got me questioning my football.
So I know they play on Thanksgiving, but
yeah, 3 teams always play on Thanksgiving. Yeah. So, but anyway, I think that's it, man.
Yeah.
I think we got to wrap
next
it
week.
up.
We're gonna have to do our Christmas special next week. So
yeah. So next
we'll come up with some Christmas stuff.
Yeah, and next week I already know the guests. I already got them booked.
What if they back out?
They won't. They better not. You better not back out. So I won't say their name.
Yeah, just in case. You'll jinx it.
So we'll just have to remember next week to be like, hey, they didn't back out and they're here.
They are here.
So, but anyway, y'all remember to like, share, subscribe, submit questions to PoliceWeb.
PoliceWeb at wichita.gov. Mm-hmm. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram.
Anytime that you guys anytime you're looking for information about the police department, come to our socials, anywhere on there.
Yep. We're always posting.
Yeah, so. Always posting. Always got some kind of snarky remark that we reference for gun larcenies.
Yes. So, don't leave your guns in your cars unattended.
Yeah.
Please.
Bro.
Don't. If you get a gun for Christmas, don't leave it in your car. Yes. Lock it up. Keep it safe. Don't get it stolen.
That's it.
So until next time.
We'll see y'all later. Peace.
Bye.